Hey y'all, this is Brett, and today I was going to make a video on how people can call various herb companies and talk to them about their needs, their health needs, and that those herb companies may be able to help them out, that's the wording we'll use, with some herbs that they offer so that they can alleviate their ailments by natural means rather than pharmaceutical means. And I made the video and then I called the herb companies to get their okay. Maybe I should have done the opposite, called the herb companies first. In any case, I guess I just thought that they'd be all good with me helping them out with some business. But actually they're not, and the reason is because they're afraid. They're afraid of the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. And the Food and Drug Administration caters to the masses and protecting them. We've talked about this before. And so, basically all of the herb companies in this country are afraid to get shut down by making claims or recommendations that they cannot prove. And so, things that people have learned about herbs over hundreds and hundreds of years, all this information has to be kept somewhat underground or in books only, because unless somebody is regulated by the government, they cannot make recommendations to people. And that's why when I do a consultation with people, I tell them that I'm not a doctor and I can't make recommendations, etc., etc., that I can only share experiences. Okay? I share experiences. And so, this whole thing is a bunch of crap and a whole bunch of it's like they're putting a gag on people and preventing them from openly sharing information. And it's really unconstitutional in my opinion. And, people need to know that herbs are generally very safe. And that if people would learn how to use the herbs in a manner and educate themselves in a manner that was also very safe, that they would typically not ever have the catastrophes that the pharmaceutical drugs offer, that they create. For instance, when I was younger, I did Accutane for my acne problems. And that drug has caused so much havoc with people's health, including mine. And things that are natural are generally going to be a lot safer. It doesn't mean that everything that's natural is safe, because there are toxic compounds out there in nature that can be hazardous. But when people have experimented with using herbs for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and they've passed down the information from what their experience has been with the herbs, from tasting the herbs, from smelling the herbs, from utilizing the herbs, that information is very valuable. And so, I find that to be a lot more reliable than something where somebody has tried to create a patent and is trying to make a lot of money and trying to get people's symptoms relieved fast, because anything that's fast is generally not worth anything. It's generally a quick fix. And so, you should know that real healing takes time. And if you've got a health problem that's directly associated with something that's not good for your health, and you're not willing to give up that thing, then it's probably not going to help you to do some kind of a natural medicine. It can just it can help you to feel better a little bit. But for the most part, you have to focus on eliminating the original problem that's causing the problem. Like, for instance, your kid is getting ear infections because they're eating dairy. So if you just keep feeding the kid dairy, you can forget it. It's not going to help it. And you're just going to have to keep going back to antibiotics. So, it's a lot of, it's tough. It's a tough situation because, yes, people can make claims that aren't reputable about herbs, and that's not acceptable. But there are a lot of things that have been learned about herbs that need to be thought about and considered. So, it's not a perfect world, and one thing I can tell you for certain is that people that sell herbs are very likely to talk with you about your ailments and share their feedback as to what you might try, and they wouldn't charge you a dime for it. If you call an herb shop, it's likely that you can talk to someone for free. Okay? So I want to thank you for joining me, and you might go back in some of the videos that I've shown you and listen to my videos and listen for some of the herb places that I have personally used. I'll talk with them more about them more in the future. Thanks for joining me.